And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry. That's Nick. Occupancy down below. And we are ready to break down some baseball. I have 5 games here chosen for us to go over today. And we'll start with this one. The Red Sox plus 120 are in Toronto minus 140. A total of 9 in this one. We have a great pitching matchup in this one. Stripling on the mound for the Blue Jays. And on the other side is Waka for the Red Sox. He's pitched really well this year. He's getting 6-1 with a 2.34 ERA. He's won his last 2 games. However, one was against Detroit, so you have to take that with what it is. Another at home against St. Louis. But the game there against on the road in Seattle, he went 4.1 innings and gave up 8 hits and 3 earned runs in that one. So he seems to be a better pitcher here at home. Going to Toronto, on the other side, Ross Stripling. What can be really said about him this year? I think he's surprised people in the way that he has pitched. He started obviously in the bullpen, and then with the Ryu injury, moved to the starting rotation, and he's fit right in the starting rotation and has pitched really well. In his last 3 games, he's 2-1 with wins against the White Sox and the Yankees. A loss against wins against the White Sox and the Detroit Tigers, but a loss against the Yankees. In that loss, he did give up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 2 walks, in 3.2 innings. But not really that bad against this powerful Yankees team. The Blue Jays are also 7-2 this year against Boston. The only thing that I kind of have the alerts going on, thinking, okay, maybe this isn't the right spot. Stripling's numbers against Boston have been pretty bad. 2-3 in 7 games with a 6.52 ERA. However, in the game this year, he did pitch really well, only giving up only 1 run in 5 innings against Boston. So in previous years, mostly last year, he had a rough year against Boston, but pitched pretty well in the first start. And the Jays, I think, will want to keep momentum going from yesterday. So I do like the Jays money line, which I have in parlays because I don't bet minus 140. So I give that out after. But I do like the Jays to get the win here. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout like yesterday. Nick, what do you think here? Red Sox and Blue Jays.
Yeah, I did take a shot at Toronto here today in the first 5 innings, minus the half a run at minus 105. I like the the way that Stripling has been pitching this year. I think that they do have the slight pitching advantage over Michael Wacha. I like the way that they looked good last night. It is what it is. I was on the wrong side there last night with Boston. I was lucky to get the push on the over 9. For me, I'm just going to isolate the first 5 innings and take the Blue Jays here minus the half a run.
All right. Jay Shake Gosman shoved yesterday for Terry and Bryant. Yeah, I said he was elite on yesterday's show and got some real heck for it. So I'm glad that at least Gosman showed up yesterday and was elite for that one game at least, to kind of make me not look crazy, I guess. But Vladdy is overrated. Nice home run last night. Vladdy must have been watching the show and saw your comment there and decided to say hello.
Oh yeah, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., friend of the podcast.
Oh, sure. But occupancy, what do you think here? Red Sox and Blue Jays.
Yeah, no, just looking back a little bit towards Gosman's performance, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. Had him in fantasy parlay. His pitch count over 92.5, and he cleared 100. He just got back right. I had a really bad June, and his results were pretty bad. But just having him, as parlay piece for the best bet cash yesterday. With all that said, I'm staying off today. Just felt really good about Toronto overall yesterday, and none of those feelings came back today. Boston is still dangerous, and I agree that what was said about the pitching matchup. And I think Stripling does have a slight advantage, but I've also cashed some tickets with Waka, so I'm staying off. Sit back and maybe try to get a team total over or full, something like that. But no pregame plays for me for this one.
Yeah, this could be a good live. This could be a live betting game, a very good live betting game, depending on what happens here. But we'll jump into the second one here. The Houston Astros, minus 120, are headed to New York to face the Mets, plus 100. Total of 8 in this one here. I originally was capping this game yesterday with Luis Garcia, who was projected to start. And then obviously that changed to Valdez, which makes me like to play a little bit more because Valdez is a lefty. And the Mets, not horrible against lefties like they started the year. They have definitely improved, but still not a top-tier team against lefties. So I look for Framber Valdez to have the pitching advantage here. Carrasco on the other side, he's been giving up hits. He's been giving up runs to this Houston team. In Houston, he went 2.1 innings, gave up 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. In his other game against Miami, he got the win at home, but he gave up 8 hits and 3 earned runs to a Miami team. But what does have to be said, he is 5-0 at home in 7 starts this year. So he has played very well at home. But this Houston team roughed him up. And I don't know if they'll rough him up again that bad like they did the last game. But I do like Houston to win here full game. I got them at minus 118. I just don't think this is a good spot for the Mets. But depending on the matchup for tomorrow, I'd have to look. I do think the Mets are going to put up a fight. Obviously, they got swept in the last series against Houston. They're not going to want to get swept in this one. So I do think the Mets will put forward a good effort. But I think this Houston team is just, for tonight, is the better team. So I'll be on the Houston Astros money line. And trust me, I don't like Houston. So keep that in mind. But Nick, what do you think here? Astros and Mets.
Yeah, I'm on the Astros tonight in the first 5 innings at minus 125. I do think they had the slight pitching advantage here with Framber Valdez against Carrasco. I probably wouldn't recommend the full game. I could see this being similar to the Yankee series with the Astros, where they dominated the first 5. I think they cashed all first 5s in that 4-game series, but yet blew a couple leads late. I could see the Mets being able to come back late in this game. So maybe taking the Astros first 5 and maybe finding a nice live number on the Mets could be interesting here. It's just I see a good pitching advantage here at Valdez in this spot. So I took the Astros first 5, just first 5 though, minus 125. Yep, that's another reason why I didn't take them full game is the Mets are undefeated this year following a day of rest.
All right, occupancy. What do you think here, Astros and Mets?
Yeah, we had this matchup last week, and I was really confident with the Mets in that second game. I thought when they lost the first one, they would come back and Carrasco would get right. He went, 2 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 3 home runs. It was not a good outing, though the Mets kept it close and they tried to make a comeback. I didn't think my tickets were dead, but they ended up being dead. But they gave us a run for it, and they did make a comeback. And I was just looking back at that first inning. Actually, we had the Mets got on base in the first. Nimmo singled, Lindor singled, and then Alonso struck out, and Marte grounded into a DP. So it's not like they weren't keeping it competitive. And when I first looked at the card, it was just like clearly I was leaning Astros. I wanted to go fully Astros. Um, and then I kind of remember like Framber in the Bronx, and like he got lit up as well. Like they were able to tie it up and hit the 3-run homers and give them that cushion. But if they didn't hit those, I mean, that either would have been a 3-3 situation or yeah. So I mean, I don't know. He's good, but like I'm not super confident with him, and I'm now hearing about all the stats about the Mets after the day off. And Carrasco, is he injured? I'm not really sure what I'm getting with him. This could be a situation where we add like Mets plus a half or a team total over 2.5, something lighter, like but for the Mets. I'm like I don't feel like jumping on Houston anymore. Kind of after looking a little deeper into this, but yeah, we'll see. Mets a dog price at home for the Mets is like some people's celebrate that. So we'll see.
All right. We'll move on along here to the next one. Miami plus 125 is in St. Louis, minus 145, a total 8.5 in this one. I don't want to say one of my favorite games of the night, but it's one of my favorite games of the night. The pitching in this one, Braxton Garrett for the Marlins here is coming off a good game against Colorado. Not so good game against the Met before that. Very good game against Houston, but then he in his very first game he kind of got smacked around. On the other side here, Dakota Hudson, he's been bad lately. His last 3 games, 5 earned runs and 7 hits to Milwaukee, 9 hits and 6 earned runs to Cincinnati, and then a game in Boston where he actually did okay, 4 hits and 2 earned runs, but 5 walks in Boston. So he kind of survived that one. But now he's facing this Marlins team. Miami, good against righties, but St. Louis is good against lefties. So that pushes me to the over 8.5 here. The teams are on their good splits for lefty-righty splits. Both pitchers can give up runs. Just this Miami offense is the only thing that's kind of making me, but I think they'll both come through, and I think we'll definitely see. I think we can see double digits in this one. Nick, what do you think here? Marlins and Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm on the same page there. I'm on over 8.5 in this game. I was on the Marlins team total over yesterday, and they did absolutely nothing for me. I think we do get runs in this game, though. Dakota Hudson's not someone I've been particularly thrilled with this year. His advanced numbers don't really look too good. He has a Sierra close to 5. And I think that we should see a little bit of a bounce back from Miami's offense here, especially against a lower tier pitcher. I do think that Wainwright's slightly better than Dakota Hudson at the moment. Obviously, maybe Dakota Hudson, as he develops more, will be better. But yeah, this is a spot here where I think we just see runs on both sides. 4-4 isn't, I don't think, too difficult of a score to ask for in this game. So I'm on the over 8.5.
Awesome. Occupancy, what do you think here? Marlins and Cardinals.
Yeah, started. Braxton Garrett got on my radar a couple games ago. His last outing, Miami won 3-2 at home versus Colorado. He went 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And I bet him to get over 4.5, and he hit that in the second inning. I think that was the Freeland game maybe, and it was actually a pretty cool pitching duel in the beginning of that one. And this guy just showed up. I don't even know from where, but he's shoving. His numbers are like right around average, and that's great for an MLB guy who's new. or new-ish. I don't know. Again, too much about him. Looks like he's got some MLB games in 2020 and 2021. But anyway, I'm going to back him. And I'm just figuring out the best way to do it. I was looking at some prices. I was looking at Miami plus a half in the first 5, around minus 110. I was like Nick. I was on the Miami team total over yesterday, and yeah, their offense is kind of streaky. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. I believe why am I blanking on his name? Big first baseman, Jesus Aguilar, got the day off yesterday. So I gotta check the lineups, and if he's back in, he's a pretty big bat. That definitely helps that lineup. I know there was some talk about Jazz and if he was in or out. Just checking out the lineups here for this game. See if we got any confirmed lineups. Yeah, Aguilar's back in, batting 5th behind Cooper. Birdie's been playing better. It's no respect on Dakota Hudson, and it's no disrespect to the Cardinals, but I like to make money, and I like Miami, so I'm going to be getting involved with them. Probably that plus a half in the first 5, or maybe take a shot with them on the first 5 money line. Let me see what price I can get for that one real quick. Is plus 125 for just Miami on the money line the first 5. So that's where I'm gonna go on this one.
All right. I hope Miami scores a lot of runs for you, for all of us.
Yeah.
We'll jump into the next one here. Detroit plus 170 are in San Francisco, minus 200, total of 7 in this one. Lefty, 2 lefties on the mound here. Tarek Skubal for the Tigers. He has been pretty awful lately. In his last 3 games against Boston, Texas, and Toronto, he's lost all 3. He's given up 6 hits, 8 hits, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 walks, 2 walks. So he's walking people, he's hitting, he's getting hit, and he's giving up runs. Now he's heading to San Francisco on the other side. And Carlos Rodon, who did have a tough start to the season at times. He was getting hit there for a bit and kind of thinking like, what's going on? But in his last 3 games, there's nothing going on. 3 hits against Atlanta, 2 hits against Pittsburgh, 2 hits against the Dodgers, 1 earned run in those 3 games. He went 6 innings, 7 innings, 8 innings. He's got 8 strikeouts in 2 of the games, 10 strikeouts in his last game against Atlanta. He has just been stunning his last few games here. And now he gets to face the Detroit Tigers, which is every pitcher's dream, I'm sure. And I think he's going to put a good effort out. And I think the Giants are going to win this game. I have their money line in a couple parlays that I'll get over afterwards. But I'm also on San Francisco minus 1.5, plus 115. I think that's a great price. And I don't think the Tigers will be in this game. I think you could possibly even look at the Giants minus 2.5. The only reason I didn't, though, is the Giants aren't really the hottest of a team right now. So I'm not going to go crazy on them, but I do like them to at least win this game by 2. Nick, what do you think here? Tigers and Giants.
Yeah, I end up siding with the Giants here. Rendon's numbers the last 30 days have been much better. I remember he struggled for a few starts after getting hammered on Sunday night, I believe against the Cardinals, and then he struggled the next couple of starts. Since then, he's been much better. And Tariq Skubal's really cooled down. Tariq Skubal was someone that I started the season backing, and now he's someone I'm looking to fade a little bit here. Been struggling, so I took the Giants in the first 5 minus the half a run, which was around minus 135. I like the way the Giants should be able to take care of business in this one, and the way that the Tigers are playing, I don't particularly trust them at the moment. So I got the Giants in the first 5 at minus half a run. This Detroit bullpen's actually kind of been sneaky decent this year, better than we expected. So that's why I only went first 5.
All right. Ryan says that the wind's blowing out 15 miles per hour towards right center. So,
I think that total could be low as well.
Yeah.
It's a 7, I believe, right?
Yeah, it is. I think that's probably because a lot of people have looked at Tarek Skubal highly, which he has the ability to be a very good pitcher. And then obviously Rodon is Rodon. So I think that's probably why the total is the total. But yeah, I would lean with the over as well. Possibly even San Francisco team total, which I'll have to look at the end of the show and see if I get to that. Occupancy, what do you think here? Tigers and Giants.
Yeah, it's a pregame pass. I cashed with Scooble in the beginning of the year. In the summer. Wait, no, it's summer now. At the end of beginning of the summer, I just got a tip about Scooble and to keep an eye out on him. So like in those early April games, we were just dropping like unit, 2-unit plays on him on the money line, and they were cashing. Then I guess the major leagues kind of put the pressure on its players, and as you've seen, like some of these better teams are separating now, and he's just running into that, and that's I think what's explaining his performance. And I still think he can go shove tonight. So with a minus 200, not super stoked to bet this game. I would be leaning towards SF, but it's just I'm not sure it's going to make the pregame card.
Hey, you don't have to bet every game. That's why what the great thing with baseball is that there's usually 15 games every day.
Definitely.
So you can choose. I'll jump into the last one here before we get to last pitch. And the rest of the games, Baltimore plus 135 are in Seattle again, minus 155, total of 7.5 in this one. Dean Kramer has pitched really well as of late for this Baltimore team. In his last 3 games against the White Sox, Tampa Bay, and Kansas City, he's given up one earned run total in those 3 games. In his last game against the White Sox, I know it's the White Sox, but 5.2 innings, 7 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Obviously against Tampa Bay, 5 hits, no earned runs, and 6 innings, another 1 walk. He has pitched really well. Robbie Ray on the other side has started to turn it around as well. After a rough start to the season, in his last 3 games, he's given up 1 earned run against Oakland, 1 earned run against the Angels, nothing against Boston. He's only given up 3 hits in the games against the Angels and Boston, 4 hits against Oakland. So Robbie Ray has kind of turned it around here. But with the pitching matchup as it is, and with the way these two teams are playing each other right now, I like Baltimore. I'm on the first 5 plus a half, plus 100. And then I'm also on Baltimore money line for the full game, plus 145. I think this is a good dog spot for this Baltimore team, who's playing much better than I don't think any of us would have expected at this point. So while they're hot, because I don't know if this will last the rest of the year, but while they're hot now, I'm going to continue to back them. And I like it close. I said yesterday that I thought it would be a close first 5. And that's why I took Baltimore plus a half. And obviously they were up like 7-0. So there was no close first 5. But I think today we'll get that close first 5. But at least Baltimore will be tied or winning. So I like that. And I like them to upset and win the game. Nick, what do you think here? Orioles and Mariners.
I passed on this game in general. I would lean towards the dog, I guess, if I had to get involved. I don't know what this Mariners lineup's going to look like because I know that they had a couple suspensions that I don't know if those have taken place yet or not, because when they do, they're going to be without Winker and Rodriguez, and I want to say Crawford as well, which is 3 of their top hitters.
And they don't have France.
and
He's
France
hurt.
to add on to France, which
Yeah.
that's a big loss as well. I stayed off this game in general. It's a complete pass for me.
All right. Occupancy, Orioles and Mariners. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, just looking back, I was involved with Kramer's last start, and I was just completely on the wrong side. I was on the over, and I was on the White Sox, and that game ended 4-0 Baltimore. So seeing the comment here, yeah. Read about the Mariners lineup. I mean, look, I watched a game last night, and I don't know, they look distracted. They kind of, like in baseball when they start like, they hit a ball, they're like, oh my god, it should have went out, or like they yell at a pitch call that goes bad, and just like you could tell, like sometimes like they start whining more and like just not just shutting up and playing honestly, and like I got a lot of that from Seattle yesterday. And I was obviously on the wrong side. I was backing them. And dude, Baltimore is just there. Like I've seen them take a lot of extra base hits away in the last few games from their outfield. They make some like pretty amazing catches out there, and I don't know if overs betters are super pumped with Baltimore right now. But
Their offense,
that
we were.
well, yeah, exactly. Yes. Team totals on the other side not going great. That's okay because it's a new day and a new card, and yeah, I think like Baltimore is going to win this game again. They looked good last night. Kramer's numbers are good: 1.71 ERA, 3.27 FIP. Robbie Ray on the other side, fours across the board. So I think Kramer's got the pitching advantage, and we're gonna get a plus price. And what Terry said, that plus 100 on the first 5 plus a half, I think is a great look. And then the whole game split. So I think I'm just gonna, see the board the same way and ride alongside.
Awesome. But before we get to last pitch, our sponsor, BetStamp, use code WILD when you sign up to help out the show. BetStamp is awesome. You can find my picks there. I post them instantly as soon as I make my bets. I brought up the odds here for Oakland and the Yankees in this one because I thought it's pretty interesting. I have the Yankees money line and some parlays that we'll get to here shortly. But you can find the Yankees money line for minus 176 all the way up to minus 208. So that's a 30-cent difference.
Also, when you look at the bet stamp here, the first thing that came out to me is you see on Proline Plus, you can get the Athletics for plus 180, and on Low Vig, you can get the Yankees for minus 176. So if you know how to do this, you can arbitrage yourself because you can bet enough on both sides to be able to make a profit because the juice is just in your favor there. So those are things you got to keep an eye out for as well.
Yeah, exactly. So line shopping is super important. BetStamp is awesome. It helps me, saves me a lot of time not having to look from book to book to book to find out who has the best odds. I can just jump on BetStamp. But we'll move on along to last pitch. And I'll quickly go over the games that we didn't cover and my opinions on them. And then I'll give out my parlays here. Game 2, Twins Guardians, I'm not touching. Game 2s, I only really touch if there's something I really like about the game. And in this one, there isn't. So it looks pretty even pitching wise. And so I'm just passing on that one. Pirates and Nationals, a bum fight. Corbin against Quintana. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this bum fight. Definitely not. Braves and Phillies, Morton Wheeler. This one is tough. Part of me wants to take the Phillies because I do think they have the pitching advantage here. But I think the Braves probably have the lineup advantage. So in the end, I passed on it. Oakland and New York Yankees, Montas against Sears. I like the Yankees in this one. Even when they're down, like, 5 runs yesterday? This team is never out of it. They're just a really, really strong team. And this Oakland team at 25 and 50 on the year, they're not a strong team. So even if the Yankees come out slow, I look for them to win the game. Milwaukee, Tampa, that's a tough one. Woodruff against Baz. Baz, a really tough, a really bad start to start the year, but it's looked really good his last two. Woodruff, shaky start as well to the year, but he's been pitching really well also. I was looking at the total in that game, but I think it's a 7, so don't really want to bet an under in that one. Reds and Cubs, Castillo against Thompson. I kind of want to bet Thompson and the Cubs, but this is another bum fight, and I could see the Reds winning, so I'm just passing on that one. Texas and Kansas City, John Gray against Heasley. Another bum fight. I got involved yesterday, but that's because I had, obviously, the lefty splits. Texas is good against lefties. They're facing a righty tonight, and Marquez is not on the mound. It's John Gray. So this game I would lean with the over, but I didn't get to it. Dodgers and Rockies, Kershaw against Freeland. Freeland is bad at home, but most of the Colorado pitchers are worse at home than on the road. I like the Dodgers to win this game. Obviously, that's a big price, so I have that in a parlay, which I'll give out here shortly. White Sox and Angels, no real opinion on that one. Padres and Diamondbacks. That's a tough one, too. A pitching advantage with Arizona, but definitely a lineup advantage. Even with Machado out, there's still a lineup advantage with the Padres. But I ultimately have not got to anything in that one yet. And we went over the rest of the games. My parlays today, Yankees money line plus Toronto money line plus 159. Dodgers money line and San Francisco money line plus 128. And Yankees, Toronto, Dodgers, and San Francisco. So those 4 teams that I have parlayed, all on the same parlay. And I actually don't have the odds for that written down. So I apologize. But I will look it up and find out what the odds are for it. But that obviously a half unit on that one.
Terry, I got some. I'm seeing plus 515.
515.
You said Giants, Dodgers, Yanks, and Blue Jays.
Yes.
Yeah, I got one book 515 for you.
Awesome, perfect. And that is basically it for me in baseball. Let's see. Yep, I have all my other picks. Dodgers double result, minus 135. So that's them to be winning after 5 and win the full game. That's pretty interesting. That's a pretty interesting price. Nick, last pitch. What do you think here?
Yeah. Let's take a look. I'm going to back Shane Baz and the Tampa Bay Rays in the first 5 innings at minus 115. I'm going right back to those Texas Rangers in the first 5 in full game on the run line, minus 105 for the first 5, plus 115 for the full game. After getting shut out at Coors Field last night, I'm right back on the Dodgers tonight. I got them first 5 full game run lines, laid a little bit of juice with it, but I don't see them getting shut out back-to-back nights. I expect them to come out and absolutely dominate in that one. So first 5 full game run lines with that. I did take a side on Arizona, San Diego. I think the Padres are a trap today. I think people are going to see the Padres and how good they've been playing at only a minus 115. Sign me up for a little bit of Zach Gallen and the Arizona Diamondbacks in that matchup here. Yankees and the Athletics, I like the first 5 under 4.5. And then I'm going to fade the Phillies on a Tuesday. Give me the Braves on the money line. I also like the first 5 under 3.5 as well.
Is that Diamondbacks full game or just first 5?
First 5. First 5.
Okay, yeah. Because I just want to check with their bullpen. I'm sure it was the first 5. Wanted to make sure it was.
Did I not say first 5?
No.
Oh, my bad. Yes, definitely first 5. I do not touch full games with the Diamondbacks. Minus 115, first 5.
Awesome. Occupancy, last pitch. What do you think here?
Yeah, seeing the board pretty similar to you guys, so that's always a good feeling. I'm going to pass on Pittsburgh, Washington. My heart wants to back Corbin, but my bankroll does not, so it's a pass. I like Wheeler at home. I'm on the Phillies first 5. I give him a half run too on that one. Milwaukee and Tampa. There was just a moment in Boz's last start where he was shoving, and I remember all the Yankees are kind of like on in the bullpen, standing up, just like watching him, and like he went through that order, and he ended up losing the game, but I think they were up after 5 in that one, and he made it. Yeah, 4 in the third inning, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. And I am curious. They were up at the end of 5. So Boz is a guy I'm going to back. He actually almost won his last start, but they lost 0-1 with the Orioles. I think he's going to be a good pitcher moving forward, so I'm going to be on that side for the first 5. Reds and Cubs. I'll be looking to back Castillo in the first 5. I think he's got a slight edge over Thompson. Just looking at the numbers, his ERA is a little lower, Thompson's, but Castillo's FIP is a little lower. So I think Castillo's a side I'll go on. Texas and Kansas. I look to back John Gray when he's on the mound. It's pretty expensive price though for him at -150 on the money line, and first 5 -150. And like I don't know, a bunch of people cashed last night on Texas, so it's either just I guess keep riding it, but I haven't gotten to the window yet. Dodgers, Colorado, also haven't bet yet. It's a lean towards Colorado on the reverse run line. I'm just looking to fade Kershaw when I can. I think he's a great pitcher, but just I don't know. There's a few pitchers I'm just keep my eye on, and he's one of them. No bets though, so I guess if you don't have a bet, you don't have an opinion. So that's a neutral. That's wipe on that one. So nothing in that game. I will be betting the White Sox again. I said yesterday on the show that Angels are a sinking ship, and they got away with one last night. They ruined the over for everyone, and so did the White Sox. And it was annoying, and they got away with the game, and they did. But plus money again now with Cueto and Silseth is one of the, I don't know, lower ranked guys in the rotation. His 5 ERA, over a 6 FIP. And we get Cueto, who, he can be hit or miss, but going to be taking a shot with the White Sox again. Also looking to back.
With you there.
Oh, yeah, right on, dude, Jay Shank. Yeah,
Sox.
I mean, it's the Angels are what they are. And yes, obviously, you got to respect their lineup, and they can hammer balls at any time. And they have Shohei Ohtani and Trout and Marsh and Walsh. And, I like that guy Vasquez that bats 9 sometime. I mean, they got a lineup, but it's just like, I don't remember. There was something in that game too where I was just like, I looked at like one of the coaching decisions, and I was just like, really? Like, I feel like they're just not being run well. I don't know. I mean, look at their record. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, Gallen is going to be a bet on pitcher for me as well. He's got some good stuff, and he hasn't really failed me yet. So why would he today? That's all I got.
All right. Ryan says Giants race to 4 runs is plus 115. So that's a way to get the team total, but a much better price. And do we think that? Sorry, I'm blanking.
Because the total is low.
Yeah. Do we think that Detroit will even score 4 runs against?
They scored in Arizona, but that's Arizona.
Yeah.
And that was also against the game against like Dallas Keuchel in there too. So
I like this as long as Scooble doesn't turn things around randomly. As long as that doesn't happen, then I think that's a great bet.
Yeah, I do too.
But
plus money.
Yeah. We'll jump into best bets, and we will start, as we always do, with Dog of the Day. Tim and I are on the same one. We're both taking the Baltimore Orioles. Nick, you're taking the Arizona Diamondbacks. Bryant's taking the Boston Red Sox. Occupancy, you're going Miami Marlins. And Jake is going with the Cincinnati Reds in this one. We'll go to over or under. For me, Miami St. Louis, over 8.5. Nick, you're going Yankees Oakland, first 5 under 4.5. Tim is going to the WNBA, and he's taking Dallas and Minnesota over 164.5. Bryant is taking Arizona and San Diego, first 5 under 4. Nothing for you yet, occupancy for total?
No, not yet. I don't think so today.
Hey, you don't have to give one. It's optional. And Jake, think about it, and if you decide by the end of the show, you can add it in. But if not, that's fine. And then Jake is going Colorado and LED over 11. So he sees some runs in Coors Field tonight. Best parlay piece for me, New York Yankees money line. I had to choose between the 4 teams in my parlay, my big parlay, and I went with the Yankees here. Nick, you're going Texas Rangers money line.
Yep.
Tim is going back to the WNBA and taking Washington Mystics money line. Brian is taking the Cardinals first 5 team total over 1.5, which is an interesting one there. And occupancy, you are going Miami Marlins plus 1.0 in the first 5.
Yeah.
So that means that so basically that's first 5 money line, right?
It's no. So if they're down 4-3 or 3-2 at the end of
It'll
5,
push.
it'll push.
Oh, if they're down by 1. Okay, yeah. So so it gives you a 1 run.
It's heavily juiced, but I saw it actually at like minus 150 or minus 160, so it's not terrible on one book.
Hey, not bad at all. And then best bets for me, my Yankees and Toronto money line parlay is my best bet for plus 159. Nick, you are taking Texas Rangers minus 1.5.
Yep.
Tim is taking Baltimore money line and Tampa Bay minus 1.5 for minus 600. Plus 600, yes. Bryant is taking St. Louis money line parlayed with Milwaukee money line for plus 228. Occupancy, you're taking Philly plus 0.5 in the first 5 and Tampa Bay plus 0.5 in the first 5 for plus 148. And Jake is taking Philadelphia Phillies first 5 money line as his best bet. Have you decided to add a total occupancy or not?
Most of my totals bets have honestly been in game. So I haven't bet any pregame yet, so I'll just stay off for now. It would be that Miami St. Louis, the one you have.
Over?
That's the one it would be, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the show. Best of luck to everybody tonight. If you're watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. We'd love to see your comments and interact with you. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support. And we will see you again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Best of luck on your bets tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.